Well, hello there, friends. Another fantastic recipe for you today. Want to know how to make a fabulous marinara sauce? Stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to make it. Friends, I got another fabulous recipe for you today. My tomato sauce. Call it a marinara sauce, call it whatever you want to call it. But I promise you, this is going to be one of your favorite tomato sauce. And as simple as it is to make a tomato sauce, so many people screw it up. And the main reason why they screw it up, they use tomatoes. You can't make a good tomato sauce if you got tomatoes. It's really that simple. You have to have good tomatoes to make good tomato sauce. Really that simple, not complicated. The tomato that I'm using are La Valle tomatoes. Those are Italian plum tomato. They're like a Semarzana tomatoes. Semarzana tomatoes are wonderful, but they're very expensive. La Valle tomato is about a third of the cost, and they're just every bit as sweet as the Semarzana tomatoes. So you want a good tomato, look for this. You go to an Italian market. You won't find them at the grocery store. Go to Italian market. You're going to say, well, that's a big, oh, let me put the onion. Let me put the onion in the pan because the onion got to go first, okay? And I'll explain. I know most of you have watched my video before. You know what's going on in here, but I'll explain it in a minute, okay? So now, you're going to say, well, that's a very big can of tomatoes. What do I need a big can of tomatoes like that for? When you make a tomato sauce, you can't make a tomato sauce with just one can of tomatoes. You know those little 28 ounces? What kind of tomato sauce is that? You got to have at least 2 or 3 cans. So you might as well buy a very big one like this. It's called a number 10 can. Because that's 3.5 times the little one. And you make enough tomato sauce, you can turn it into a tomato soup. You can turn it into a tomato coulis. You can turn it into a tomato bisque. You can make so much. And I want to show you something. This is a can of tomato right there. Look. This is how much tomato there is. This is how much water there is in a can of tomatoes. There is like 60, 70% of water in a tomato can. So all you're doing is making it with water. That's no good. So we want to use at least 2 or 3 cans or buy one of those. Number 10 can. All right, let me stop talking about the tomatoes. I am now sauteing the onion. Okay? So now, why are we putting the onion first? You know, right? Because we want to caramelize them because they're sweeter. It's really that simple. You want the onion to be sweet. Why do you want the onion to be sweet? Because sometimes tomatoes have a little acidity in it, especially if you're buying tomatoes. There's a little bit of acid in it, which means you'll have to put sugar at the end. You'll have to offset that acidity. So I started with a beautiful basil olive oil or garlic olive oil. You don't have any of those? Trust me. You can get them. You can get them on our website. You can get them everywhere. A good basil olive oil makes such a big difference. Trust me. At the end of the day, you only have a few ingredients in there. What do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ingredients. 5 ingredients. If they're all good ingredients, you know you're going to make a good sauce. All right, so first we do the onion. We caramelize the onion. And remember, friends, don't put the onion at the same time you put the garlic. Whenever you see somebody do that on television or on YouTube, whatever you're watching, you see somebody putting the onion at the same time as the garlic, Playboy channel. Okay? I don't even know if they have a Playboy channel anymore. I think they cut it off for some reason. I'm not sure what it was, but anyway. So do not put them together because the garlic takes only a few seconds to release its fragrance. The onion takes a few minutes to release its sweetness. And we want it to be sweet, don't we? All right? So let me slow down the heat here because all of a sudden it's going pretty fast. So now we're going to put the garlic. The garlic, friends. I make this garlic puree. And I showed you how to do this in one of the videos. And so we're going to put it in. But now, when you put the garlic puree, the component, the floral component in the garlic, is in a component called sulfur. When sulfur reaches 148 degrees, it releases the beautiful aroma of the garlic. And that's at this moment and this moment alone, it's going to come right now. You watch, it's coming. It's coming right now, folks. If you could be here in my kitchen right now, you would smell this amazing fragrance that I got right now. The second you smell the fragrance, I got to go back to it, but I got to make sure I put my tomatoes in there, okay? And I'm going to put the water of the tomato too. Now you're going to say, oh, that's a lot of water. Well, I know. Let me just do the spatula here. So then in a minute I can relax and go back to the garlic, because it's really important. Now, if you've been to my class before, you've been to my school before, you know all this. But somehow, I know it's good if I repeat it. So you all become so very educated. It's really, really important, my friends, that I get everybody in America educated to make a good tomato sauce. So let's go back to the garlic. Okay? And I can hear all of the lovely people that have taken my class before in my school in Fort Lauderdale. They all said, oh, here he goes again with the garlic. Well, I got to tell them, they don't know. Not everybody knows. I got to explain it to them. So, the garlic fragrance. You know, when you put the garlic, okay, you take the garlic right now. They smell like anything? No. They smell like anything? Not really. They smell like nothing. Have you ever tried to smell it? It smells like nothing. What happens is when you heat it, when you bring it up to 140 degrees, 148 degrees, the fragrance come out. And at that time, you got an opportunity to do two things. One, capture that delicate floral aroma in your tomato sauce or perfume the house. Your hair, your clothes are going to smell like garlic, not the tomato sauce, because you're letting it out. How long do you think it's going to take? About 2 minutes, 3 minutes. The whole house is going to smell beautiful. Hey, Mom, what are you cooking? It smells delicious in the kitchen. Yeah, yeah, it does. It smells like garlic, doesn't it? Yeah. Not the tomato sauce. The tomato sauce now, after the aroma comes out, we're left with the bite, the bitterness, and the acidity of the garlic. That's why sometimes you go to a restaurant and you go, ooh, a lot of garlic in there. Yes, because they burned it. Burnt garlic doesn't taste good. So that's my philosophy. Classically trained French chef, I'm telling you, they don't burn garlic. We roast it slowly, we poach it, or we saute it until the aroma comes out, then we capture that aroma. It's a delicate fragrance. It's floral. The component that we love so much about garlic is very delicate. Don't burn it. All right? I'm done talking about the garlic. So actually, I'm not done. Because let's say you don't have this. Let's say you don't have this garlic puree that I just put in because you didn't watch the video or you don't care to do it. Just take a garlic cloves. Put a little salt right there. Look. Put a little salt right there. You got enough. I don't want to put any more than that, right? Put a little salt on your cutting board. Don't let me forget to put the salt in there, eh? Don't let me forget it. Hey, chef, don't forget the tomato sauce. Look, you take the knife right there, chef's knife right there, and just smack it. Take another one, smack it, then take your knife. Hey, come back. Just come back over there and smack it. This is a very, very hard chicken. See, just like this. Just smack it. See, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I know you're not afraid. Okay, just like this. And then you can add this garlic in your tomato sauce. Just let it cook. Add this in your tomato sauce. Okay? Now, don't ever scrape your cutting board with your knife. Take the garlic and put it right here. Whoa, that's going to be a very garlicky tomato sauce. But I don't mind. I don't mind at all. I hope you guys don't mind either. All right, so now, what else do we do with this? First, we clean up a space. Because I don't like a messy kitchen. All right? We clean up a space. What else do we do with the tomato sauce right now? Okay, what else do we do with the tomato sauce? We're going to bring it up a little bit. We're going to put some tomato puree. Because otherwise, the tomatoes are going to be too watery. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, just reduce it. If you reduce it, where all the water is gone, you got nothing left. Remember, the tomatoes are 70% water. You want to reduce until all the water is gone? Well, guess what? You're not going to have very much. So you got to bring it up with a little tomato puree. This is a very, very thick tomato puree. It looks like a tomato paste, but it's not. It's a tomato puree. Tomato paste is much thicker than this. All right, we're going to put it in there, and we're going to mix it up really good. We're going to mix it up really good. Now we haven't put any flavoring besides garlic, right? Okay, I'm ready for that. Fresh thyme. I love thyme. Thyme and oregano are wonderful and basil. We're going to put a little basil in there. You got basil. You don't have to put basil in there. You don't have to put thyme in there. Put whatever you want. The basil comes in beautiful leaves like this. Take it, the bigger leaf, the bigger one, put it in the bottom, the bigger one. The bigger one of the leaves you find, put it in the bottom, right? Right, and put them on top of each other just like this. Right, it's probably a little too much. Roll them. You can roll them lengthwise or you can roll them this way. It's actually a little easier if you roll it this way. Then you take your knife, your chef's knife, and you do what is called chiffonade. Chiffonade. You see where you take your knife? This is another lesson that I'm going to give you guys, is a nice knife skill. Look, look, look. That's how you're supposed to use a knife. You grab it properly and you do what is called a chiffonade. You see? Now, you put this on top of a pizza. You put this on top of a salad. You put this on top of a pasta. You put this in your tomato sauce. And if it's a little too long, give it a couple of cuts. So then the strings are not so long. Okay? You take it, put them right in there. Reduce the tomato sauce so it doesn't cook too fast. I just put tomatoes all over my stuff. We're going to clean up. We're going to clean up. Friends, remember, a clean kitchen is a happy kitchen. All right? It's very important. What else do we got in here? Nothing. Oh, mamma mia, I'm making so much noise. Clean up your area, please. Stay clean all the time in your kitchen. Let me push this aside. Now, what else do we do? You forgot to tell me about the salt and pepper. Salt, I'm using a Mediterranean sea salt. Pepper, black pepper, right there, beautiful. Cook it up. We're going to cook this very slowly. And how long should we cook this? Well, you got the grandmother. My grandmother would cook this all day. And I'm telling you, start in the morning early and at 7 o'clock at night, she said, oh, it's not quite ready. I don't know what she was waiting for. You don't need to cook it all day, friends. I know that's the way our mother, grandmother did and all that. I don't know what's the sense of it. It makes no sense at all. If there is acidity in your tomatoes, I promise you, then the acidity of the tomato will escape in no time at all. And now, if the acidity of the tomato doesn't get out of there within an hour and a half, you're going to have to deal with some kind of a sweet or fat. That's the only two ingredients you can offset acidity. So sweet would be a little sugar. I like to use acacia honey, but it's very different. It's not like a regular honey. If all you got is the honey that comes in a beer bottle, don't do it. Okay, acacia honey is a whole different thing. Or a little bit of olive oil in there, a little fat would work. You make a puttanesca, you put butter in there. I mean, so some kind of fat, some kind of sweetness. Be careful, put very little of it, okay? So we're going to let that cook. Should we cover this or should we not cover this? What do you think? No, you don't cover tomato sauce. Why? Because you want to get the acidity out of there. Okay, that's really important. The acidity of a tomato is in the water of the tomato. More of that water escape, less acidity we're going to have. So it's really important not to cover. Do we bring it to boil? Yeah, you bring it to boil, and the second it's boiling, you reduce it down and you cook it very slowly. And the only thing you need to do every so often is clean the side of the pot. See, look at the way I'm doing it, right? Clean the side of the pot. So keep it nice and clean. That's all you got to do. Keep it nice and clean. And they got a wooden spoon. I like a better wooden spoon for this, but a rubber, not a rubber, a silicone spoon or spatula will do just fine. We're going to keep it. You know what, also, sometimes you open up a can of tomato, it's got a lot of air bubble on it, so it messed up the whole stove. So you know what I do? I go like this. So I cover half of the pot, so it still allows for the evaporation of the water, and it doesn't mess up my stove so much. Let it cook for 45 minutes to an hour. Test it. If it's beautiful, if it has no trace of acidity, you're ready to go. Give it a good hour. Forget 45 minutes. Give it a good hour. If you need to cook a little bit longer, cook a little bit longer and see if it gets nice and smooth. That's all there is to it, friend. See right there, a little air bubble? Put this on here. It'll capture most of it so your stove is not a mess. That's it. I hope you like that recipe, friends. Remember, if you like our recipe, by the way, you can freeze it. Freeze is beautiful. 17 years. I always say 17 years, but it's not really 17 years, okay? Don't quote me on that, okay? But a good few months. See, look at that. Mamma mia. See that? Oh, take it easy. It's going a little too fast. So, remember, if you like our video, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring my bell so then you get a notification every Thursday when I put up a new video. We'll see you next week. Enjoy your beautiful tomato sauce.